same time, he had access to. Oh,
He killed me.
There were a lot of mirrors.
There were a lot of
How many
mirrors.
mirrors?
and
Hi,
gold.
everybody. And gold. Mirrors and gold. Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's a Long Story.
That's fine. You know,
A place where we roll dice. We do that, and we tell stories and we create magic. So, welcome. We are here with the beautiful, the awesome, the amazing, the Unearthed Arcanum. Everybody take a look at your camera, wave, and say, Dan, we miss you.
Dan, we miss you.
Miss you.
And we miss you. There were so many rules in that.
I know. I'm sorry.
Dan. We
fine.
You get nothing.
All the Dans,
Nothing.
by the way, all the Dans. Shout out to the Dans. Dan, I really hope you watch this.
Either one.
But yeah, either one. All of them. Welcome. For those who have no idea what this is, hi. We're a D&D live stream that runs every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Having 5 parties, count them, 5. Living, existing, and breathing for those that do in the same homebrew world, the wonderful, beautiful world of Astera. So this is your first time watching. Hey, howdy. Oh, I did something. Crap. All right. I'm a little sick. So I apologize if it seems like I just go full. Clinton, you're in charge if I just go full off the rails.
Awesome.
You just jump in.
Did you see his message in the chat recently? Are you sure you want to put him in charge?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
I'm not sure about that, Joe.
I just see how you doing, buddy, to Evan. What are you talking about?
Yeah, how you doing,
look
buddy?
up one channel in campaign
One
talk.
channel?
Oh wait, what? No, don't look at that yet. No.
Those are all out loud in my games. Yeah, where are we? Welcome. We're here. No real announcements this week. It's been, man, it's been a crazy time in the real world. So I'm gonna say let's just get as quickly as we can into this other one. Yeah, cool. Let's do it.
That's full of joy.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah. So the only announcement I have is this is your first time watching the channel, or if you are so inclined to support us, best way to do so is to like and subscribe where you're watching this, whether that is on YouTube or Twitch. We are streaming on both. A lot of people don't know. Sometimes myself, I forget. So for the people who are like, man, I gotta check the Twitch thing and just make sure that we're all good. But yeah, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much. That helps us out a ton. Also, you can check out our Instagram and TikTok down below, right down there, at It's a Long Story _TTRPG. And if you feel so inclined there, you can give us a like and follow there, or even just a comment, just saying hi. Saw the channel, liked all of it except for Hannah's part.
There's so many rules.
Don't even lie to them. You know I'm the best part.
Take notes.
She is a pretty solid addition to this channel.
Yeah.
I took out the last one.
I did agree with that, but I realized that it was the
So
space between me
it's still
saying so.
yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, Joe.
I get it. I understand. Based on
Anyways,
conversation
better than that
earlier.
one
Just
person
as
on the other, right?
distracted, I'm trying to get to the next section. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it didn't mean that.
That's what it was. Thank you, Evan. Thank you for that gold star. Cool. So before we jump into tonight, because gosh, do we need to get a recap of where we left off with the Unearthed Arcanum. So, Clinton, please take it away.
So I finally made it to the city where all the other people were at, and believe me, guys, been through the Feywild like this was unbelievably difficult. So I showed up just as the fairy kid and the skinny, annoying one that, that thinks he's better than everybody else were going into the shop where the red-headed uh, elf, or he looked like
Dude,
the
you gave me a full coughing fit at that. That was
he
full coughing
he
fit.
he he didn't even have arrows, so he wasn't that scary, but he had the pointy ears. But he wasn't the other one. He's been gone. So I haven't seen him yet, but I'm sure he's around here somewhere. Anyways, so the fairy kid only has one arm right now, and it looked like they were working on it, and they were just hitting stuff and talking in these different languages. I couldn't understand them, but at the end of the day, the fairy kid walked out with an extra arm, and the skinny one came out with nothing. I don't understand. So he they went off, and that was fine. But then the really mean one, I think it's the same one. She's all pale now. She stayed with the red-headed guy, and then they just talked for a while. And she looked like they were trying to teach him a language. And the other one, they were talking about bumble crumping for a solid hour. And I didn't get that at all. So I went down the street dodging people, which is really good because all these people with the pointy ears are tall. I'm not. And they didn't see me. And I went, and then there was this one place that had a bunch of books and a goat with a man's body, but he didn't know anything. His shirt said his name was Petra, but I don't think that it didn't look like a Petra to me. And then the red one with the horns, she's super nice. She was in there writing away on a scroll. And then the one with the tentacles instead of the horns, he was in there too. And then there's this other one that they're hanging out with, also just one arm. Also, I don't know. It seems like they're losing arms like they're losing kids. And and then this other one with the one arm came in, and whoo wee. Oh man. And then when she finally walked away, I could think again. And then she started talking to the one with the octopus on his head. And the one with the octopus on its head said, "Drink orange juice." I'd tell you more, but I don't know. He just said, "Drink orange juice." Then the one with the one arm who was smoking hot, that one, she drank the orange juice. She wasn't as hot anymore after that. I don't get it. Maybe the octopus head guy knew what he was talking about. Anyways, they hung out for a couple days. They didn't really do much. They were always moving when I was with them. But today, they just hung out. They stayed around for a couple of days, and the pale one just kept on talking to the redheaded one. His English got better. They stopped using words like bumblecrump and started using real words that I understood. And the red one with the horns just kept on reading books. I don't know if she's ever done anything other than reading books. And the octopus head one just kept on telling people to drink orange juice. I don't know. And then the other one-armed one, she just ran around with people following her everywhere. Man, she was pretty though. And then late at night, the little fairy one and the skinny one snuck under the tree, and the pale one was with them. But then they talked for a little bit, and the pale one hung outside. She's not very good at seeing things, because I snuck right on past her, and in there they were talking to this wooden lady who really seemed to be into the skinny one, which I don't really get because he's never really done it for me. Anyways, and then the little one laid on a big bench, and then the skinny one was leaning over, whispering in his ear. Looked like he might have fancied him a little bit, but then they were like hugging and stuff. I don't know. And then the wooden one, the weird wooden lady with the really long fingers, she just started cutting away and putting vines in his back. And then out of nowhere, that arm was there again. But this time it was detached, and there were lots of tears, and there might have been fireworks. I don't know. But certainly felt like fireworks after seeing that other one-armed person. Whew. She had some golden freckles. I ain't ever seen golden freckles on anyone before. Whew. I hope I see them again. But anyways, I'm
will
gonna
make
hang
you
out.
Nubs.
Anyways, I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. I'm just gonna keep watching these people, at least until the one with the arrow shows back up, and then I'm gonna kill him.
Clinton, how's
Yo,
your
what's up?
voice?
We'll see.
Bravo.
Guys, there is
Bravo.
bravo. I hope it was sounded weird in my audio. I couldn't really hear very much of. I couldn't hear any of that actually. So Clinton, can you just do that again? Just do like a shortened version of like just do that again.
Yeah, they're
Hey,
all
here's the
here,
guy.
and they're all weird.
I will never RP fingers ever again. Ever.
Nope. He's Clinton's now.
Also, the connection of the voice has started to fall into OP. Was it?
Oh yeah, it's definitely.
It did. I started
Yeah.
doing okay, that's why.
Don't touch me.
No, touch me.
And then there was a there's a full Rick and Morty ooh-wee.
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 My weird
Clinton,
little guy, I miss him.
gold freaking star. Please take that point of inspiration, well deserved. I fully thought at the beginning of that you were just gonna have fingers do like, I'm in Dare's Wharf, here's what's happening.
No, man. Fingers is everywhere.
Fingers is everywhere. Fingers is canonically
He's a multi-dimensional being.
he doesn't know it, but he is.
No. Do his eyes glow blue?
God, that's a good way. It's a good way to just like tear away any sort of serious lore. It's just to put it like-
Fingers is also a watcher.
and Fingers is one of them. Beautiful.
Imagine.
We have Snorri, and these other two very intimidating. And that guy over there.
And then this guy. Hey, what's going on? I'm
on,
watching you.
guys?
I'm watching you
Fingers
the whole
watches
time.
the Watchers. That's actually the like. He's creeping on them. Like.
Fingers carved that into the deck. Anyways, God, this is gonna suck. Hey, Clinton, this is gonna suck, man. This is gonna make me seem like such a dick. Thank you for that. Thank you. Beautiful. I can't imagine. But is there anything else we need to add, friends?
I was too mesmerized by the voice to
Evan, you're
actually
muted,
realize
hopefully.
what was happening.
You are
Nah,
still
man.
muted. But that's okay because I usually when you guys do this, I'm like prepping some like last minute things, and there was no way I was gonna be able to do any of that. So
All right, yeah,
this
that's
is
cool.
good.
Just to make sure, there were not fireworks, everyone. All right, there were.
There
no
were not fireworks. Yeah,
There were not. That was a
No.
fingers edition.
phrasing.
Are you saying that my weird little guy is an unreliable narrator? I don't believe you.
No, he's perfectly reliable. The fireworks were
himself.
actually from Prim.
It's true.
Like I said, I will make him Nubs.
Is this shit working yet?
Yep.
Oh hey, how you
Oh
doing?
yeah. I mean, we forgot that Yori's dead. Did we say Yori's dead? It's just making sure everybody.
Did we
Yeah,
say
there
that? I
were-
don't think we said that.
Some games will say, "Oh, okay, well, I'm dead," but you're not really dead. You're down.
No,
he's
he's
down.
fine. He's
He's
You're-
rolling death saves. He could have rolled some over the break. Who knows?
nah. He's fine.
We didn't say Yori is dead, so that was something that wasn't said.
it
So,
wasn't.
Evan, if you wanna,
Well, I mean, Evan said it now, so it can't be true.
That's right. When we
interesting.
say
That is
things, we're
your
not-
rule.
He's not
Yeah.
dead. He's super dead.
It can't happen
He's
now.
a new version of dead.
There is a whole other level echelon of dead that I was gonna bring to you guys, but now I can't even do that because Evan just called that out.
Yeah, nailed it.
Nailed it. We found the
Jesus
loophole.
Christ! You guys want to play some D&D? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
man. I do.
Hey.
Hey. So good.
Oh, Perry died.
I want you all to know that I love you all very much.
I don't like when you start a session like that. I mean, I like that you love us, but
I don't like
Why
that's
is
the
your
response
love
I get.
only curtailed on the end or beginning of a tragic session?
I
The
just
only time you feel
it's
you
just
can
a reminder.
express.
No, he's just sick. It's fine, guys. It's fine. It's fine. Everything will be fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. Okay.
Dude, I go into every session expecting to die. We're good.
My cats don't even
I
want
go
to
to
be
if I
just
hope to die,
cats
so you
tonight.
know.
Today might be the day.
Christ, 7.
Heidi,
Oh, we're
come
talking
be
about
an
our
emotional
characters.
support
Okay.
cat.
Sorry.
Let's just do that. Let's just do this. I the caffeine. I'm trying real hard to just like fully push through
God, I need some caffeine.
and see if that will do it.
I'm
But
gonna get a NOS.
we're gonna find out. Clinton, you're so mean to me.
You guys. Let's go.
I might not have an emotional support cat tonight, but I do have emotional support chocolate.
You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Got an apple.
Let's go.
Got NOS. Let's go.
So, Alistair, you see the hand that is just barely able to hold on to the ring that Kara had, slumped down, unmoving. You see Ivis has stopped working. And I think as you're bending down to check and try to kind of find out if Jorri is okay, you recognize that she has taken a step back, like she's done.
Are you done? You're just finished?
My part is over with.
Yeah, I guess the deal was for you to put the arm on. And that was it, right? Nothing else?
Unflinching. No response.
Get your help. But you do understand the bullshit these scenarios create. This is why people okay, fine. And then I'll fucking agree. In this moment, put my hands on his back and cast Spare the Dying.
No effect.
What? Then I'll try again and cast Cure Wounds as the magical energy comes out and enters right where the connection of the new arm and his back are at, and just kind of center everything in that area.
There's a moment where you see the wounds mostly in, or you feel your spell extending out from you. It is working. But Jorri is not breathing.
Ivis, I need him to walk out of here with me. I have nothing else to offer you. If you won't physically help me, can you at least give me some advice, something I can do to help him? You do not want to see me with nothing to lose.
As most things have choices, I've come to learn that humans are the most likely to stand in front of crashing waves and beg it to stop.
I'm not begging. If you won't help me, it's fine. But I am not begging. And I'll turn back to Jorri and call upon every bit of training I got from Dr. Quran when it comes to just physical forms. I guess to inspect his body to see if there's anything that I think that I can push or pull or tug on to try and help him at least start breathing.
Arcana check.
$27.
There's a glimmer in the boiling rage of what sits inside you. Like a very distant lighthouse in a very violent storm. You do know that this isn't over yet. Though he's not breathing, though you know medically if the breath is not moving, if the blood is not pumping, the body will start to die. But in this moment, you recognize something that you often forget. Jorri is not like you. Jorri is not a child. Jorri is not human. With a 27, you know that your rules, your guidelines, everything that you know that's mixed in with the biology of how mortal humanoid creatures work, Fairies are by far the most mysterious.
I'll look back to Ives, just make eye contact, and shout as loudly as I can, Kara, with that, tinge of immediacy to it, to try and get her to come in. And then, if Kara comes or can hear me,
Kara, you can hear.
She's gonna come running.
As you come running, you feel something. By the time you get to the tree roots, something is blocking you out. Some sort of force that is physically pushing you away. Alistair, you see this, and you can back to Ives.
You know this is important to me. He has to be with us for what's coming next. He has to be there.
Looks past you. The changeling that's waiting 50 feet from the entrance. Kara, in this moment, you're able to see what isn't moving. And leaning up against the wall, you feel a sudden jolt as your body lurches forward through whatever field was keeping you out.
I'm going to run over. And as I do, she's just gonna say, "Mask, help me," as she tries to cast Spare the Dying, because she doesn't know what Alistair has tried already.
I'll have you roll it. Roll me a religion check. Actually, I'll say use your spellcasting modifier.
Oh, that's so much worse than my religion check. It's cocked. 10.
You see, only you, Kara, see Mask waiting outside, trying to push up against that same wall. You can tell that Mask is not welcome here. Not in this form. He is able to still give you enough power from the distance that he's at that you're able to use your spells. You actually, weirdly enough, you actually can feel something new. The voice inside your head is warbling like it's underwater. As you hear hurried and defeated sounds from Mask.
Everything went fine. He's not waking up.
Clearly not. He's not breathing.
I understand. Listen, we only have a couple of minutes before this really starts getting bad. I don't know what to do. But if we can get air into his lungs at least, then maybe that will help for now.
I don't know. I don't have medical training. I don't know this.
Okay, do this. And then I'll show her chest compressions. Just do this for as long as you can until we figure something out. We could talk about it. What is Mask telling you? What can Mask do?
He can't get in. She's not letting him in. She's doing this. She's keeping him away. She's making sure we can't save him.
I don't think it's her. But she's not helping either. Listen, I have nothing left to offer her. Is there anything that you can trade?
What do you want? If... I totally just forgot her name.
Ivis.
Ives.
Ivis. What do you want, Ivis? What do you trade in? You trade in what? Time, memories, what do you want?
Desperation in your voice leans heavy on the Fae in me.
I lost my husband. I lost my daughter. I can't lose him too. I can't lose another child.
Much I would love to feel the pain you feel. For one moment, to know what it's like to truly lose something. You have plenty that I could take, but I have none to give.
You can keep a god at bay. You can fucking save him.
In this tree, I can do many things. But your fairy is no longer in this tree.
Outside the tree, Joe. I know there's like stepping stones in water.
Mm-hmm.
This feels stupid.
Go for it.
Jorri, what we learned from Jorri is that they were buried in the ground. That's how they became fairies. So my idea is like a whole, you know, the Black Panther style where you bury them mostly, you keep his face up and like keep his chest up so I can keep doing concussions, but leave the tree and bury him at most of his body in the ground, in the Fey earth, to try to bring him back to that. Yeah. So he's not in the tree anymore. Maybe the same, I don't know.
I like that
That
idea.
might be stupid.
I don't think it's stupid at all.
I'm just gonna look at this.
Go ahead.
Let us leave. If you can do nothing here, then let us leave.
She nods.
She's gonna scoop Jorri up in her arms and just run out to the nearest dirt and just do what she said.
Yeah.
Do what I explained.
As you run out the field, you start to see from the stepping stones. There's an area of these dead leaves and deep sort of mud and muck, and just above that is this area that is at first covered in a layer of moss, and then beyond that, deep grass. Where do you bury him?
Can I roll something? Yori's explained a little bit. Can I roll something to... I don't remember if he ever explained where he was. Like, if it was a dense forest, it was...
You
He
don't
didn't
know.
explain the...
I would say like that's not ruining really anything. He seemed to be pretty happenstance in the idea that he wasn't entirely sure. Bits and pieces were his memories.
She'd look to Alistair. Where do we bury him? Where do we do this?
Alistair
He's
just-
fairy.
just
That's
gonna-
how the fairies are made.
I would say I'm probably about 6 seconds behind you, just because I wanted to ask or do something real quick with Ivas. But when you said he's not on this plane in this tree, you don't mean in this tree. You mean he's not on this plane.
He's not with us.
You said you would love to feel loss. What it's like to feel pain. So I give you this compliment. We'll let you experience pain and loss someday. Thank you for your help. And I'll turn to follow Kara.
Behind you, as you walk out, you see large roots and brambles. And I think in Alistair's sort of like point of view instead of mine, Alistair doesn't look back, but behind Alistair, heavy tree roots start to pull back in, cracking and moving as if the tentacles of some sort of sea creature as it solidifies and closes shut, leaving just the faint visage of the yellow lights that are surrounding, that are inside.
If you want to just hear, is fine. I guess. If you think this will work, I don't understand Fae magic. I don't understand any of this.
You're muted.
Can I hear Mask now?
Yes. Immediately, Mask is. What's? Oh no.
Where do I go? Where do I take him?
I don't know. This is the first time I've been on this plane. I don't know how this works. I'm so sorry. I can't guide you. I can't help you in this. I don't understand what's happening.
Is there earth, ground, a space that is the driest, cracked, something you might find in mountains? More so than like the open glade we see around, even if
Okay.
it's just a patch of dry earth.
Yeah, I would say a patch of dry earth, like the idea of like having everything sort of like cracked from the sunlight, kind of bearing down on it in this big sort of open field. And I would say like you see the dirt here is a little bit lighter in color and definitely coarser.
She's gonna, as quickly as possible, bury most of him and then start doing chest compressions again. And as she's doing that, she's just saying to Jorri, I don't know if this will work. I don't know this is going to bring you back. I know that this is how fairies are made, but you are made of the mountains and the fire and the earth, and you are a giant, and this is the best I can find here.
As you say that, Kara, you're hearing almost in a space of that is a full distraction as it is loud and in your ears, and in no one else's. As you hear Mask just saying, "I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. I never had to deal with this before." And you see that Mask is not talking to you, Kara, but talking to Alistair. Alistair, you're not hearing anything. I'm sorry, I'll find out. I have to leave you for a moment, but I will find out. I will follow. I will find some of the others, and I'll be back. Kara, that was repeated to you.
I think she's focusing on Jorri.
Doesn't say anything. There is a moment that Mask waits for a response from Kara and recognizes it's not coming. No, yeah, you're busy. This is based on the die I roll too. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You feel Mask fade away. I need an athletics check, Kara.
At some point while she's
Can I
digging.
do acrobatics?
No.
Flash of genius. At some point while she's doing the digging, because I can't dig, I will write in the notebook for everyone else and tell them to come to us.
Okay, cool.
Literally, lots of exclamation marks, no information.
Got it.
What's your flash of genius?
+5.
Cool.
19. No.
19.
20.
Okay, cool. 20 is good. Okay, cool. Let's have that moment. Gwyn, you're in the library. You see Petra is now back, is trying to sort of continue to sort of like organize the things that your natural instinct to disorganize.
Don't forget, Yusin helped him out by reshelving lots of stuff.
Right.
So everything in his that has anything to do with mice is in food.
Okay. There is a yeah. Okay. Cool. You see, Petra is going through. Okay. Yeah. No. I see where you're going with this, and you see like Gwyn. You kind of like make eye contact and like look down at like Houston. Like, don't talk to me. I see where you're going. Okay. I see where you're going with. Ow. Okay. No. I need to put. Can you just? Ow. Okay. All right. We'll put it. Well. Okay. You know what? It looks good there. It looks great.
Don't worry. He's got a system. It works. You just got to trust it.
Okay. Yeah. Gwyn, you're smirking as you look back to your studies, and you notice that under the big stack of books, you feel something. We'll say in terms of like how this manifests, I would say there's a moment where you feel this like kind of like warmth of magic, and you see like a little bit of light seem to kind of peek out.
I was gonna say, I think for once Gwen actually has the book sort of out present because she knew something was happening with them tonight. She didn't know what. She didn't ask for details, but she knew they were doing something because they needed Kara's help. So she was keeping an eye. So I think for once she actually goes and reads it pretty promptly.
Okay. You start to hear Petra's voice behind you, but all of a sudden it just goes out.
Yeah. So I think she's going to grab the book. Petra, just leave everything. I'll be back. I have to go. And she's just, without anything else, going to just run out of the library. As she goes, she knows Prim does not have a book. So she's going to do a sending. Prim, meet at the big tree. Something's wrong with Jorri. Quick as you can.
Okay.
We're going to pause that there. Gwen, as you're running out, you find Io coming in very cheery, like, "Hey, Gwen, what's going on?" Like that sort of, and like I think you just grab him, like, yeah. Cut to Prim. Prim, where are you? Like moments before receiving this message.
So the question is whether or not we're going to do that Esalise thing. If I was with Esalise at that time,
I'll say for the sake of the role playing of this moment, let's not worry about the mechanic stuff. As you tell me, this is where do you want to be when you receive this?
she will be just up in the little hideout that we have.
Cool.
She was just taking some time to herself and hanging
Okay.
out with Spat.
Yeah. Go ahead.
She'll just respond, "I'll be there momentarily."
You see Spat
Come. Grab Spat and just
cool. As you grab Spat, you see you actually feel like a moment where your arm completely, like, you feel like knives kind of jutting in. You take for this scene, you take 3 points of damage.
doesn't even flinch.
Yeah. As you go running down the hall.
Yeah,
roll me a luck check.
Yeah. That's a 10.
Okay. I'll say you have advantage because there's actually a reasoning based on the idea of the time frame, I believe.
Okay. It is still a 10.
Okay, fair enough. You got it. As you are rushing down, the scene kind of moves the Prim kind of like rushing past down the steps, and the camera kind of stays there as down the hall Sarah comes carrying what looks to be like some like large canteen of most likely wine, and she just kind of moseys up on the up the steps.
Yeah, I'm assuming she didn't hear the triple dashing, a really quick movement. Yeah.
I don't know. With a 20, you guys arrive. I'll say, Kara, is your plan to bury all of Jorri?
I'm leaving. Well, I want to leave his. She doesn't know. She's not medically inclined. Alistair told her to do chest compressions, so she's gonna leave it so that she can still do chest compressions.
You got it. Cool. Makes sense. So you're piling on the dirt on the side. You're like, there's a moment where you're like maybe like fumbling on the idea of like, is this too much? Is this too little? I don't know. And then you just kind of have given up and just going straight back to like chest compressions with Jorri there. Please continue. I didn't want to cut you off first. If there was something. Was that it? I cut you off, Kiki. So sorry, I cut you off when I was talking, so I didn't want to.
Oh,
if there's
I
something
didn't realize. No, that's fine.
Okay, you got it. Prim, you arrived before Gwen, but Gwen, you were not that far behind.
What happened? No, don't even give me the what happened. What do we need to do?
No, I don't know. We fixed his arm, but something else broke, and I think I don't think Jorri is here with us right now. I know that Yori's body is here, but I have said Yori's not with us, and I don't know what that means. And Mask has been of no use so far. And Kara said we should bury him because that's where the fairies, that's where he started, and it's not the worst idea, and it's actually a better idea than I had, which was nothing. and magic isn't working, and or at least not enough, and
Okay.
I'm not.
Take a deep breath. Okay. We can't help him if we're panicking.
No one's panicking right now.
All right.
There's an answer to this. We just haven't found it yet.
Thinking Fae people, Glorwyn, Esselise, Sarah, maybe.
You don't have time. He hasn't been breathing for several minutes now.
Okay.
Your arm. Can you go through things with it? It's spectral, right? Or is it solid? What is it? How does it work?
We could try. I'm willing to try.
And what are you waiting on? Like, do you
Yeah.
listen, and like, can you just squeeze? You know what?
Yeah, she'll summon the arm at this point and walk over and try to potentially reach in to do heart palpitations.
Give me a roll me a d20 and add your wisdom modifier.
I am going to use my inspiration for recap from last week to reroll that. 15.
15. This is somewhat uncharted territory, the idea of how you are able to summon the arm, how you're able to use it. It is able to represent some sort of physicality when it is hitting or striking something. So it is essentially a part of the physical realm. As you try to pass it through the dirt, and I think there's a moment where you try to kind of keep your mind open, and the idea of like being able to, the deep seated things of Beryl that have talked to you about the idea of being able to extend your consciousness out into something else, and being able to move into to being able to extend your body out to, or a manifestation of your body out. With a 15, you feel nothing but dirt.
Okay, that's not working. Fuck.
I'm going to say, I know Jess is not here, but Gwen would be here at this moment. And Io
Kara's
close behind.
Yeah, Kara's
Or no,
just doing chest compressions and going through different stories about his time with the fire giants with Jorri. Just all of the stories he's told us over our travels, specifically about his time with the giants and his family and Glitter and all of those people. Or Glitter and all of those people. She's just trying to tell him, and she's obviously crying and probably pretty sweaty and out of breath because chest compressions is a lot of work.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
21.
Cool. You were able to continue, but you're not entirely sure for how much longer. Gwen, you and Io have arrived here.
I assume we get filled in on what happened.
Yeah, Alistair is pacing a dirt path around Jorri.
I think because she sort of assumes that whatever's happening, maybe at least somewhat is happening in his head. If, Alistair tells them that Iva said he's not here. I think she'll go ahead and cast Intellect Fortress on Jorri and hope that it will affect wherever he's at and just maybe give him a little bit of protection wherever he is. And just maybe try to, I think she'd do it at a higher level, even though that doesn't really have any mechanical benefits, but really try to force it through whatever sort of unconscious state he's in to reach his conscious. So she's going to do it at 5th level instead of the base level to really try to force it through to his wherever his consciousness is.
I like this. I will say there is a DC that you need to pass, putting your extending it out to a next level. I'll say you have +5 to it. It is a DC 20.
Okay. Am I rolling Arcana or
I would say this is a spell, so you can use your spell attack for this.
spell attack? Okay. Ooh, 23.
Okay. With the 23, Gwen, as you're extending this magic out, there's no... The weird thing with this spell is that it is a safekeeping sort of spell that allows the creature to be able to resist the psychic sort of things that would be happening here, but it doesn't open up a passageway.
Right.
So Gwen, you felt it pass through your body, and if Jorri was fully gone, that wouldn't work. But you are not presented any sort of connection whatsoever.
Okay. So I don't feel like it worked, or
You feel like it worked,
I feel like
but
it worked.
you don't have a connection to Jorri whatsoever on this end.
Got you. Yeah.
Excuse me.
I will say the spell, it worked. So he's not gone. He's just not here, like she said.
In this moment, so actually, we'll give a pause to see if there's anything anyone else wants to do or say.
Can I try, because she said her spell worked, can I try to trigger Warding Bond? I don't know that it will work.
Let's see. Your warding bond that actually, because you've already, oh no, you didn't end up casting. You just have the shit. Jorri just has the ring. How do you do it? How do you try to do it?
I mean, as she's gonna keep doing what she's been doing the whole time, but when Gwen says, like, her spell worked, but he's here, but he's not here, I think you just see the kind of golden cracks across her body, like she's about to shift. But then Yori's and her platinum rings turn golden, and you can see a little bit of the cracks go up his own skin. So he's covered in the same golden cracks as she is.
So there's a moment that you cast this, and you see it. You see it manifest in the ring. We'll say that the fingers just outside the dirt there. You see it manifest in the ring. You do not see it leave the ring. Does not feel like that was effective.
I'm gonna cast Blink. I'm gonna roll a d6. Try and get to the ethereal plane.
Interesting. I like this.
Yeah. So it took 3 times, so it took me almost half a minute to get there. But yeah, I think when they came up, Alistair was fiddling with his ring, and when Gwen cast Intellect Fortress, and then seeing Kara's spell, both their spells basically because he sees them, lands but don't necessarily land on Alice or on Yori. Um, he's running through everything he can. If he's not here, but he's here, where is he? So as he casts the spell, I know mechanically not, but repeatedly mumbling to himself, kind of looking down, spinning the ring, and then he just kind of melts away and enters the ethereal plane.
Okay. So here's what I will say. We're going to do a little bit of fun little homebrewiness to this. I would like you to give me a, we'll say, this is not based on the idea of like you, this is actually based on you finding Yori. So, but it's using magic to do so. Okay. I'm going to add. Actually, no. We'll do something fun that I very rarely get to use. We'll do the percentile die.
Oh, fun.
I don't have any that would be like fully clear to you guys to see, maybe. So it might be a little bit tricky to see. I think that's how I would read that 97. I need to roll a 97, a 98, 99, or 100. You have a
You got
4%
this, bro.
chance.
The dice tell a story.
I believe in you.
I believe in you too. Nope.
Cast
The
bandage on
dice.
me.
That's a 12.
Can you use your advantage on percentile dice?
I mean, it's a 4% chance.
Yeah,
Just
I know.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage.
It's a 4% chance. I'm good.
It's just not that important to you to try. I see.
Listen, the dice are trying to tell us a story tonight. I'm going to let it tell it. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Fair.
There's Alistair, as you are blipping in and out of existence, you do manage to get to the ethereal plane. And there's a moment that I think that you were reminded by something that Dr. Karan had tried to focus in with you. It's the idea of like the concept of the planes that we know exist. Dr. Karan was one of the reasons why you felt so much of a kinship to him. One of the many reasons was the idea of leaning into the concept of the possibilities of magic and not the rules. So I think as you are blipping in and out of existence here, you see, and I'll let you kind of decide and honestly maybe even keep that to yourself or extend to the party. Let you decide what that looks like, but there is moments where you see dimensions and places in your extremely high emotional state, we'll say. There's moments that you see places that you've never seen before. Unfortunately, none of which house Yori.
Yeah, so he spends the next 30 to 45 seconds doing the Doctor Strange calculations of just kind of seeing the spaces between the spaces between the spaces as he's going in and out towards the ethereal plane. I think when the spell relents, I think he collapses down next to Kara and motions for Prim and Gwen to come next to them. I think I'll place my hands on top of Kara's to just kind of, I don't know, Kiki's not here, but to just kind of slow her down to eventually stop and look at everyone. I don't know how we can do this. I don't know if this works. I don't know if it helps. But we all have a connection of some sort. Even you, Prem, even in the short time you've been here, there's something between us. And whatever you can do, or however you can lend whatever it is that you have, whether it's your personal strength, your magic, your whatever you have, Jorri needs it. He needs it now. And I will lean over and whisper in Jorri's ear, we're not done with you yet.
Roll me an Arcana check. As you have everybody here, I'm going to say except for Io, which I'll get to in a second. I would like everybody here. You have 3 sources of advantage.
I'm leaning into Gwen for sure.
I think Gwen is going to say, we are here and we will give him whatever he needs, but his consciousness is out there. And I trust that he is strong enough to take what he needs from us and find it within himself to get back to us. He's got this, and we'll be here for him when he's back. Let him tell his story. And then I'm going to lean down and say to Jorri, I can't wait to hear all about it when you're back.
Yeah, I think in this moment, that's when you recognize that you're missing someone from your party here as you look at Io. Io is with Callisto, sitting at a nearby rock, staring out into nothingness, but you see there's a small smile on his face. I think we might have just lost Jess again, but anybody else who would be engaged in this scene could see that.
Sorry, I'm here. The cats are being very naughty tonight.
You got it. So Gwen, you see Io smile on his face. You see Callisto is kind of like staring out the same direction.
Are you with us, buddy?
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, I know. Wherever he is, Callisto says, He's coming back.
No.
And we haven't had a lot of time to talk. You see Callisto kind of like look up this weird sort of like draconic axolotl sort of creature looks up at you and gives a big smile, showing rows and rows of sharp teeth. As you see Callisto kind of nods, not able to communicate in the way that would be normal for you all, but giving that sort of sense in the same way. And you remember that Callisto is a anomaly of things that go in and out of dimensional travel.
I will just nod back at Callisto very appreciatively.
Okay. So, in this moment, as you all are waiting on the beach, or the riverbank, essentially, only about maybe 100 or 150 feet away from the base of the tree of Yabellon. We fade out. Jorri.
Sup?
You see a figure floating up over this grassy sort of hump that is there, and not rising as if to represent any sort of like you are kind of like reminded of a figure that most likely doesn't walk anywhere. There's gonna be a lot of times I'm gonna be asking you to roll something here, but in this moment I will give you a freebie. You see this figure, hands caked in mud and dirt, wiping it off, looking over his shoulder, having a little bit of a smirk. As he turns, and jaw drops, sees you. You know that this figure's name is Gil. Looks at you, eyes really squinting hard. What are you? How?
Why do I know you? You're Gil. Why do I?
As you say that, you see Gil just and then collapse down the hillside.
Oh, I mean, he'll rush after him and kind of go chase to see where he fell.
You got it. I need everyone here except for Jorri to roll me a d20.
Now I roll a natural fucking 20.
Nice.
14.
That's a 2.
14. Okay.
Come on.
17.
17. Cool. Awesome. Okay. So Jorri, as you go running down the hill, you see a tumbling Faery rolling and then hitting a bump of a large patch of unearthed dirt that has been kind of pushed over. We see a couple other figures that are here, a couple other fairies that all seem to kind of like look over in surprise as they're all kind of like landed in surprise as they see seemingly one of their leaders rolling down the hillside. I'm going to say the first one to respond. Hannah, who is this?
This is Pucklet, a mischievous and spiritly fairy who looks like he's like maybe 12. He's just a little bit under 2 feet tall, with chubby cheeks, wide amber eyes that sparkle with curiosity, and a messy leaf green hair that seems to grow wild no matter how it's styled. And he's got a set of translucent wings that are speckled with golden flecks, like it's been dappled, like dappled sunlight through the trees.
For Pucklet, right?
Pucklet, yep.
Yeah.
Pucklet.
For Pucklet, you see a body rolling down the hill that you recognize immediately to be Gil. Rolling over the patch of dirt that you had just played a prank on for burying a fairy that you're not going to be able to say the name of. We'll say in the character of this moment, like you say the name and it just, in the perspective of Jorri, it just gets blurred out.
You can't even get up anymore now. Oh, we're rolling down hills now, I see. Maybe that's a new fad. Getting all into that.
You see in response this this fairy that has glowing silver skin and has like wearing this like kind of like leaf-like armor, but all of it seems to have these like little like sort of like there's always been a little bit of a snowfall on very bright blue hair. Hey, Gil, come on. What? Paco. What?
Is he fine?
Hey.
You roll down a hill. We roll down hills all the time.
I don't know. Lyra, what do we do? Kiki. Who's this?
So this is Lyra. Onyx black wings, icy blue eyes, black hair. She's a bitch. And so we can't see. Oh,
you cannot see Jorri.
Okay.
Correct. The figure that had talked to you was Glint.
Glint.
This very like icy blue fairy.
She's gonna flutter over to Gil, not touching the ground. Well, I guess he's just not cutting it. Maybe we should bury him too.
We can throw him in the other grave that that other hole that I dug earlier.
Well, hey,
Yes,
okay.
I like how you're thinking.
Oh, okay. We're gonna like he kind of like started this whole thing, right? Like to. Okay, yeah, I'll do whatever you guys want to do. It's totally fine.
You
Jorri,
can always
notice
dig a third hole.
Okay, yeah. Heard loud and clear. I have my wings and they work fine. So,
for now.
Also, I'm not digging another hole. That's on you. Do some manual labor around here,
That's
you
not
black
on
me.
okay. Lyra, I could dig it for you.
I already dug a hole. There's a perfectly good hole over there.
Yeah, but that hole is filled with. And you don't hear her name.
Oh right, I did put in that earlier. We could throw two.
Just now. We just finished. I mean, also, so how long do we leave in for?
I don't know.
He'll be fine. We can come back later and see.
Okay, yeah, whatever you say, Lyra. It wasn't really what I asked, but
Well, the one that would tell us is right there. Gestures to.
to Gil.
Yeah.
He's gonna kind of poke Gil with her foot.
Gil's in a very, hey, welcome to the creepy fairy fae. Gil's eyes are wide open. Gil is full dead.
Well, maybe burying him won't be of much use. He's already broken. Can't play with him anymore.
Was there something like over the hill and like flies over the hill? Jorri, you are coming down. You feel in this moment Glint moves right through you. Jorri, what are you doing?
I think he initially, went to go just kind of on instinct to chase after someone who seemed to have fell down the hill. I think he just, when he sees all the other fairies, I think he just sort of stops and he's just sort of staring at them. He checks himself for a second to see what he looks like, what's there, what isn't there. I think he goes to like touch where his arm is or isn't and to find out so he's
as you go to like kind of like feel for your arm, you feel that it is not there. You do feel that your wings are unfurled. You imagine that they feel like they might be able to work in this space here.
When he touches the arm, feels it's not there. I think you see a sense of relief on his face for a second. Like it's comfort to sort of like, okay, things that happened, and he turns around to go look at where he came from. Did he come up from the ground like when he first woke up here? Like he wants to.
You just kind of woke up in a field, like by yourself. But I would say like as you kind of like run, like kind of like move, fly, run, whatever you do, float is a weird thing.
He might be doing that. I think he might be unconsciously just like if the wings are unfurled. I think there's a sense that just sort of like he's kind of floating over there.
Do the wings move?
Yeah, but it's not as if the wings are. They can't like lift him, like the physics of that doesn't. But they're. It's almost as if they're trying, like to push up, but they're not really doing anything. He's not going up a little bit. He's still just very steadily moving along.
Beautiful. Please give me a perception check, and I'm going to tell you just right now, this is a very important perception check.
Okay. The anniversary inspiration. Does that the one?
Yeah.
Does that not expire?
It stacks, so I would say it wouldn't expire.
Okay. Well, there we go. That's the last of it. Okay. Now we're back up to the working class,
Working class 20?
Yeah.
Beautiful. As you hear the name, as Glint was looking around, some of these figures, I will say none of these figures, their names. I gave you kind of the first one just because it actually would be, I think, someone that would charm a memory in your head quicker than others when you see them. But you heard Glint say Lyra. and when you heard the name Lyra, you felt this sort of this weird sort of thing, like the solar plexus, like right inside you, all of a sudden just give this big like, and you actually like felt like physically sort of like knocked back from it for a second. That's it.
Okay. They talked about burying people. Can I see where they're doing that, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just one figure. You see that like the talk was to like make other to make, and I guess actually asking for Lyra and Pucklet. Are you guys making another hole for Gil to just put Gil into?
I mean, Glint said he did it for her.
That's true. Actually, you're 100% right. Glint is kind of like looking. Glint like goes over to the knoll, like kind of comes back down and goes, I didn't see anything. And then looks at Lyra for like the next steps.
Well, I guess get to digging.
Oh, okay. All right. For Gil.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're
Okay.
getting it. He
Okay.
can be trained.
Okay.
Shovel's over there.
There is no shovel. Gil was dirty hands. Gil had made it with his hands. But you see Glint is immediately like, beautiful. Starts digging a hole. Does Pucklet help?
Looks at it for a second. Like lets out just the most like annoyed child that's like being told to do a task but doesn't really want to do it, and then just kind of looks at Lyra and just, I'm good, and just starts like floating towards like a tree.
Cool. You got it. As we see Pucklet float away, Jorri, you're trying to kind of determine what's exactly going on here. I'll say, give me a. Give me an investigation check.
A 9.
9. Cool. You don't. I'm gonna say, like, above board, you don't recognize these holes, but you recall that memory. You recalled that memory beforehand of the idea of being buried as a joke, as an idea of you not being quite done yet. But possibly in the same way of like, you wouldn't have seen yourself from this angle.
Right. Yeah, he goes over to, I guess it was Glint who's digging it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just sort of floating behind him, watching, and I think, yeah, he's don't stop. What is wrong with all of you?
So I'm just gonna do this by myself, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, we have to figure out if we can recook Gil and see if that wakes him up. I mean, I know he's dead, but we don't know these things. It might work on blank name.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can cook him
Lyra.
a useful ring.
No response. That was not what this roll is for. Jorri, no response from Lyra.
He's just gonna start saying the names as if he said Gil's name and Gil dropped.
Yeah, Gil and Lyra are the only two that you know, that Jorri knows in this moment. But I will say, Glint does say, like, Okay, maybe one of us should like let Fen know, and Fen, you know, is like the elder fairy.
But like, they
You hear
said,
Fen.
yeah. Okay, so the other names I haven't heard. I've heard
Correct.
like they just like okay, so Gil, Lyra, and now Fen.
Yep. Give me a perception check. This one's much lower as you are much closer.
Pucklet's
Well, it's 24
24. Same thing
with Fen.
with Fen.
Hmm.
Pucklet careens down. I got it. Noom.
Pucklet, no. Ugh.
That's straight up. You're right there. You feel from Pucklet.
Now he's gonna come and ruin all of our fun.
Pucklet. Gil. Fen. Something.
You're not being heard by these figures who seem to be. There's like a moment I think Yori that you recognize, like maybe they're actively ignoring me, but then you're starting to kind of like piece like I am not being heard at all.
One of them went
They're-
through me, so it's yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So in this moment, you recognize like, okay, I can stay here, or I can try to maybe find answers where Pucklet went. It's up to you. Truly.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was actively trying to say the names to stop them, but
Mhm.
in the same way that Gil was stopped. But he'll fly upwards at this point to look where I guess Glenn Pucklet went. Yeah, look where Pucklet
Where
went,
Pucklet went. Yeah.
and then yeah,
You see a large, beautiful, bright, golden, ancient tree standing millions of miles high. There is no point where you can look. Even looking in the opposite direction, you're seeing just a little bit of the canopy above with how close you are to it. Its tree trunk measures maybe 100 miles wide. It is gigantic and bright and glowing and familiar. Do you take off after Pucklet?
yeah. That's kind of the only lead at this point, and I think he's going towards the tree.
He is.
Yeah, he'll go that way.
As you follow Pucklet, wings kind of moving in this weird sort of like secondary sort of state on the idea of like this is what wings are supposed to look like when they're moving, but they don't match the speed or the distance or the change of anything that you're having to focus on. You see, nestled just underneath the tree here, in a spot that would be at a certain point just a full like blank wooden wall eventually, but you see that there seems to be like a smattering of large bristly sort of thorns, like a briar, but about in the same way of the godlike size of this tree. This briar follows that same pathway, that same concept. It is giant with thorns that are about this wide, and you see Pucklet fly right underneath and go underneath them.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna. I mean, he has to stop at the ones at first. I think he takes a second, and he's just sort of staring at them, and I think at that point he drops to not flying. And if he lands on the ground, like on the ground, he'll try to go through it on the ground.
Okay. I love that. As Jorri walks, I'm going to say no history check required here as you follow the same footsteps that you probably had to take over and over and over again for however so many years, months, time, the wishy-washiness of this. The days, we'll say, is something that could kind of like be millions, thousands, who knows, days traveling in and out of a place that you remember. A place called the Briar. And with that, we're going to take our 10-minute break. We'll see you guys in 10. And we're back. Jorri, as you are traveling through the Briar, or the beginning sort of like areas of the what we would call kind of the gates of it. There's no official area of the gates because those are for figures that would have to walk. Instead, there are holes that seem to kind of peer out from different areas of the thicker sort of area of this Briar. You do, however, see these very large sort of like rotund figures that seem to have this extended out horn in front of them, and have this, I'll say just for simplicity's sake, look very much like, have this like Beatlesque sort of look to them. They stand, from your vantage point, I'd say they stand about maybe 4 to 5 feet taller than you, as they look to be they look to be possibly guardians of this place. It's I would say it's not. There's certain things I'm going to have you roll on to like see if you remember sort of stuff. This is not a well. Yeah, I'll just give it to you in the regard for this, that it does look like these are some sort of like guardians of the Briar Patch, or the Briar, excuse me. You see the figures seem to kind of like bow in their head as Pucklet moves past them. Pucklet, you do like one sort of like circle around one of them just to be a fuck.
I try to spin between the legs too, just to like really
cool.
really mess with them.
Yeah, you got it. They just like kind of, and you see their like carapace sort of like shielded wings seem to kind of like push out in response, and you this very heavy sort of gust of wind starts to kind of push up in response to that. As you do so, there is a right in front, like just past the area here, there is a whole sort of patch of what looks to be like fruits and vegetables all set up in this like kind of like farm area here. And as the wind kind of pushes it over, there is one little there's one fairy that head seems to kind of pop up as if he was maybe gathering something. Jorri, as you're kind of walking, you see this scene kind of unfold in front of you. Clinton, who do we got here?
So this is Nyx. Nyx is a very tiny fairy, little shorter than Puglet. He has like stained glass wings on his back. He is wearing several coats, each one larger or smaller than the other. None of them look like they fit him at all, along with a lot of other different random things on him that are clearly mismatched all over the place. Hey, Pucklet, what are you doing?
What are you doing down there?
Well, I
And
was just.
the wind sort of died out.
What are you doing?
I was messing with the beetle guards, and Puglet will kind of like float on down.
Well, it's just you. Where's everybody else?
Over there. Just gestures in the generalized area back that way. They're way that way.
Where are you going?
I was gonna go talk.
Just real quick, I'm on board. Is there a possibility that Lyra just left Glint to finish this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. In the background, you see just in the far distance is a like sort of like black spot that Nyx, I think you
Mosey
recognize.
over.
Yeah.
Like while he's looking, Putlix is gonna grab one of the apples, or like one of the fruits that's there,
Mhm.
and just like pull it off.
Where are you guys headed? What's going on?
We're just I gotta go talk to somebody real quick.
Who are you gonna go talk to? Are you going by yourself?
I
Is
was
it a secret?
Maybe.
Okay. If you don't come back, I can have your stuff, right?
No.
Okay, but
Nick, you
so
know that
is it a secret? Where are you going?
I can't remember the name of the person that I was going to go talk to.
Fen.
Ben.
Ben. No, I need to go tell Fen something.
Okay. Well, where is Gil? Did Gil tell you? Did Gil what?
Yeah, Gil's dead. That's what I got to go tell Fen about.
I say, Lyra, you appear in this moment. If you want, you could also just be passing by. It's fully up to you what you're doing here.
I think she would appear in the moment.
Cool.
Yeah, he seems to have died.
Yeah.
And this one wants to ruin the fun. I was gonna bury him and cook him a little longer and see if I can bring it back that way.
Yeah, no.
Wait.
We buried the other one.
You buried.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I was digging all morning.
Pucklet and Glint have been wonderful. They dug now 2 holes. Well, Glint's working on the other one. We're gonna put Gil in there and see what happens.
Yeah.
This is the first time you heard
compare
Pucklet.
them.
I'll say, like, you get the idea there. Jorri, you hear Pucklet. I can't remember if you heard Pucklet.
You heard
again,
it before, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry,
Mhm.
continue.
We can compare them. If Gil comes back and if is actually useful once he's done, we'll see.
Without really speaking, just kind of nodding, starts like lifting back their coats and checking everything to see if they have looking for something on their persons.
Okay.
You don't have it. Do you?
What are you looking for?
Nothing. Nothing.
Huh? Touch me and you lose a hand.
One of the Beetle guards has it, and then just starts taking off again.
Pucklet takes off. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't tell Finn! You're gonna ruin the fun, but Lyra chases after Pucklet.
Beautiful.
Next, come or don't. Also, the Beetle guard has the thing you're looking for.
We're just gonna go talk to. Okay, fine. Let's go.
Beautiful. All of them fly off. Jorri, as you come up to this garden, you know that in this moment, like, you're choosing to walk and trying to, like, I assume Jorri is trying to kind of like follow the same path as they would when they were here. You see them take off, flying so much faster than you used to be able to move. And I think that moment kind of sits with you for a little bit, as you recognize, like, you were never able to keep up. Looking at this garden, you see there's like, it is a weird sort of smattering of vegetables and fruits, all of different sort of like sizes, shapes, and colors. You remember this as a place that you often decided to hide from the rest, as most of the resources gathered would only be gathered at a certain time of day, which was what Nyx was doing. I think Nyx, like the fruit gathering that you had, would you have left the bag, or would you have like come with the bag?
Yeah, I think he has the bag. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. It is fully up to you, Nyx, on whether or not you like this job. This also could have been like a temporary thing too. But yeah, you were given that. So yeah, cool. So you take the bag with you. But yeah, Jorri, anything you want to do in this moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think I reach into my pocket I try to see if there is an acorn there. And if it's I am as I am, back in back where I died, then there's no acorn there. But he reaches for it anyway.
Okay.
And he's kind of looking all around, and there's memories and things, and then with the acorn, I think his face becomes suddenly more just impassive, boring, and he just takes a breath and begins to walk toward the tree again. Except he is occasionally, like, walking, he'll hit a thorn and he'll just walk past it. He'll let it tear at him for a second, and he'll just walk. He's taking paths that it's not like this is constantly happening, but like I think maybe like once or twice, he just sort of calmly walks toward the tree, and he's not looking around anymore.
Okay.
He's just looking forward and continuing that direction. And he's also sort of not, depending on how things are working here, he could also be walking in a way where it's sort of his steps, it doesn't have to be sequential. Like he could take a step and then he's taking a step somewhere else, but his movements are calm, but where he is just going toward the tree.
You got it. Cool. Yeah, as we see Jorri's body kind of like moving through, effectively trying to not worry about the spatial awareness of like how far from the thorns and things like that. There's a moment that I think fills even more to the ambivalence of the moment. You cannot even feel the thorns tear at your clothes. It just passes through. It's this moment that you hear a voice thundering out as if your world is trapped. We make this joke all the time with the idea of a stair being flat, as if your world is attached to a thread of a button. You hear Alistair's voice say to you, "We aren't done with you yet." And it thunders. You actually hear this like kind of like echoing through the distant mountains from that.
I think he actually stops for a second there. And there's this there's a memory of a kind of strategy of impassivity, of becoming boring, too boring to play with. But the sound like moves him, and I think he kind of he smiles for a second, and then I think he's kind of you could see that his eyes are sort of a little bit teared up as his face becomes impassive and he keeps walking toward the tree again.
Okay. We continue, camera-wise, sort of zooming out a little bit as Jorri continues to move through, and we see more of this strange and whimsical sort of place. We see there is these large sort of stalks of plants that some have completely opened and are used possibly for they're used possibly for some other things, but the ones that are closed, those pods of the flowery sort of bulbs, this white flowery bulb, we see little carved holes of windows and doors put into. The ones that are open, we see a very rich yellow cushion space. But this whole, I mean, it's the size of a house, so they're about, I'd say they're about maybe opened up. They're about 100, maybe 120 feet wide. The bulbs that are closed for the housing of some of these fairies, about 50, 60 feet wide. We start to see those as you kind of come down, ever going lower into the briar. These pieces just seem to kind of have enough sunlight to be able to grow and to give housing, albeit temporary, for all eventually. We also see there is some strange sort of like creeks that seem to kind of come in and out. You're having to consistently sort of step over them, and I'd say in this moment, you're starting to kind of like remember your steps as the creek beds are like extending out like veins along this some grass but mostly dirt ground. The streams themselves, the water is more silver than translucent. We also see along the kind of like base of the tree here that again is set up to be pretty much just a wall. This would be one of many sort of areas here that it is so large it is impossible to even give a cardinal sort of direction on where this would be in regards to the tree. But we see these little, sorry, not little, about 30 to 40 feet wide patches of large fungi, most of them giving that sort of like toadstool mushroom look. All of them are darker sort of colors, but given some weird sort of changes to them, that you have these like red and blue and green, and some of them actually have these like very strange sort of dots around them that have more of a brown texture than like a white. Some of them are surviving well, others are clearly dying, but one of the biggest sort of areas here that sits at a big blue toadstool, there is a figure that is unfurling what looks to be a rather wide, like I'd say like beach blanket size scroll, unrolling it, and we see that figure, and then we see another figure who is grabbing what looks to be like a heavy burnt twig, but in this case it would be like closer to like a log, and is holding it in her little hands. Jess, who is this?
This is Melody, And she is tiny as far as fairies go, maybe like 1.5 feet, with iridescent rainbow wings and short violet hair that sort of has mushrooms sort of stuck in there. You're not sure if she's growing them in her hair, if they're just stuck in there. Could be either one, really. Eyes way too big for her face. And she's looking around excitedly as she's going about her business here.
Cool. You are essentially being hired today as a scribe for a letter that the Elder Fairy is currently going to give you. Speaking of the Elder Fairy, we see this figure saying, and I'll say in this point, you're coming up to it, but it'd be a higher perception check in this moment. So feel free to roll it as this voice says, "All right, Melody, hold that side down. Please don't make me tell you again."
Okay. I'm doing it.
This is your one job today. So if you could handle this, that would be great.
I still think that you should, tell her that you really think that her eyes would look really, really nice if they had mushrooms growing out of them.
Melody, I tried to tell you that's not who we're writing to. This is a very important letter. Do you understand? There's no reason.
Well, you should tell her that. Everybody should know. That's very important. If
there's
they know,
no her.
Then who are you writing to? If there's no her, why is it important? It's only important if there's a her.
I can't believe I have to explain this again. And the camera turns and we see this figure.
Melody just looks very upset there's no her to be writing to. Like, what is the point if there's no her?
Beautiful. I think on this scene is when we see Pucklet, then Nyx, then Lyra, all kind of appearing at the Toastles. You all know this to be Fen, the Elder Fairy. What?
Pucklet. No,
Melody's eyes get twice as big when she sees Lyra.
Beautiful.
Here.
Your eyes are very mushroomy today.
Thank you, Melody. Pucklet, let's go. We don't need to do this.
I think we do. I mean, it'd probably be important for him to know that Glenn?
No, what?
What's his name?
Gil.
Gil. Oh, Glenn. You had Gil and Glenn next to each other.
Glint is no longer here. Glint is probably spending the rest of the session digging a grave.
Digging a hole.
Gil died. He rolled down a hill.
What?
It's gone. The scroll is up and she's over in
Melody.
space. I would like to plant some mushrooms in this dead body. I really, 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 really want to see what happens when we plant dead mushrooms.
Hey, Melody.
mushrooms
stop,
in a
Melody.
dead
No,
fairy.
Melody.
Melody.
Fen says that we can't do mushrooms in dead fairies, only in dead other things, but I think he's wrong. We should do mushrooms in dead fairies.
Yeah. No, how about we prank some people with some
Lyra
mushrooms
waves
in their
at
soup later.
Ben.
Yeah.
Awkwardly.
Fen is eyes on fire, so angry. Looks at Lyra and
Well, I didn't do it. He just fell down the hill.
Real quick, everybody. Fen, you're here, so you can see this too. I found this scroll on the ground. It's mine now.
No. Hey,
No.
Nyx? No.
Nope. I found it.
I will put all of you in your own holes if that's what it takes.
Grow
Please?
mushrooms in our holes?
No.
Oh.
I'm just,
Why?
I'm just gonna,
Put him
I'm
in
just
a
gonna-
hole anyways.
What do you
just
mean?
gonna put it in the bag, because just
What do you mean? Why? I don't know.
There's no this is a very large and very heavy, so like you're like trying to shove it in. There's no check in the world. Yeah.
It's fine. I was gonna bury him to see if we could, what happens when you bury him?
Yeah, but how
Bury
long?
There were
who?
mushrooms.
Kill.
Why were you burying Kill?
Well, he's dead. There's nothing else we can do with him.
And what killed him?
No
I
clue.
don't know.
You rolled down a hill,
He
I heard.
fell down the hill.
That kills people. I've heard it. Lyra just said it.
See, exactly. Thank you, Melody.
You're welcome.
He was up on a hill, and then he was falling down it.
Yeah.
You see another figure kind of come down because there's not enough people here. That has this figure. Lyra, if there's someone you hate here, it's this figure. This female fairy with translucent, like almost giving that like kind of like jellyfish like translucence, that like very like purple and like very like light purple and blue, and flowing like very much like Sarah in a weird way, like flowing seafoam green hair.
I
As
would
she comes,
immediately look at this person and say, Fen was writing you a letter, but he won't put in that your eyes look like mushrooms.
Oh, sure.
was
He wasn't
not-
writing her a letter.
He's the most important her.
She's
Sorry,
not.
Lyra. You're the second most important her.
Melody.
I
Why
have
would
to
you
speak
say
the truth.
that?
I'm a fairy. We always speak the truth.
no, we don't. That's not us. That's not. Where did you get that, Sven?
Well,
That's
I have
not
to say that because fairies always tell the truth.
No, we lie a lot.
No. I told her
That's
that I always
not
tell the truth, and she thinks, yes, I always tell the truth. But not all fairies do, like her.
You tell the truth?
All the
I thought
time.
I was good
I
at pulling
only
pranks.
speak the truth.
Wow.
The figure that you all would know as Una kind of floats down. Everything she does is very like slow and methodical. She's very like relaxed, sort of. Okay, Nyx.
Yeah.
I believe Fen needed that scroll.
Which scroll? Which scroll?
The
What?
4 times is that like on the back? Yeah.
The,
Nyx.
this one? It couldn't be this one because if it was this one, it wouldn't have been on the floor. Did you know Gil's dead?
Nyx,
He rolled
do you
down a
wanna-
hill.
Roll down a hill.
Nyx, would you like to have dinner with me this evening?
Here you go.
She did. And she takes it, gives it to Fen. Fen. You see, Una is Fen is the biggest fairy here, but Una seems to have this like sort of like air of like there's a way to do things. And there's Fen's way and there's Una's way. And whenever Una's way works, there's a little bit of like Una just kind of like pats the shoulder.
Bay deal.
Why would
I
we
give
say
Nyx a
a
high
deal?
five.
It's just a deal. We're fairies.
Wait, what did I promise to?
Dinner.
Okay. I didn't say, I don't think I said have you for dinner, right? God, I hope I didn't say that.
Would you like to have dinner with me?
Would you like to have dinner
Yeah.
with me? Okay, great, cool. Yeah,
It-
Faye deal. As Una like starts to kind of like fly off. As thing goes. Okay. From the top, Lyra. What happened?
Okay.
No,
So,
Gil was at the top.
He rolled down a hill.
So, Gil and all of us went out and we were just playing a little prank out there, and Gil just
You
took off
played
up
prank
the hill.
without me?
Well, you were busy with Finn. I didn't want to rob Finn of your expert aid. Anyways, Phil,
Okay, but I
Gil,
was picking apples.
Gil just took off to the top,
Right.
of the hill, and then
Okay.
he
Playing a-
rolled back down the hill.
Lyra, you know I love your pranks. Playing a prank on who?
He's not done yet. I was just trying to see if I could finish it.
Okay. Yes. Yep. Guys,
Finish him.
fairies, you gotta trust me on this. Okay? I recognize who is and how weird and strange and incomplete.
Well, I was trying to help. I was just trying to finish it.
Yes. Okay. Please continue.
Anyways, Gil went up the hill, and then he rolled back down again.
You're here at this point.
Wait,
Fully.
no, like-
Really be careful not to roll down hills anymore. I didn't know they could kill it. That could kill you.
It can
Yeah.
break your crown and everything.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, great. Thank you, Lyra, for letting me know, and Pucklet for whatever. What am I thanking you for?
I'm the one that told you.
Glint's out there digging a hole for Gil right now.
Can I try to grow mushrooms out of Gil? He would make a very pretty mushroom.
Melody, I need you. Jorri. Melody, I need you to focus on one thing, and it's holding that stick to make this letter that I need to send out to the fire giants. And there's a pause there from everybody.
Yeah. From Jorri as well. I think he was he was walking past, like, just
Okay.
blinders on. And at the mention of the fire giants, yeah, he takes a step and freezes there, like stops.
Yeah. Beautiful. All of you are taking a moment to like, this isn't like a pause in the like gameplay. This is a like hushed tone. As this is all news to you all. You guys can speak up whenever you want now at this point.
Why them?
Giants? They would make really big mushrooms. Okay, I'll hold it down.
Great. Thank you.
As long as there's a her.
Dear. No. Don't start. Did you start the D? Okay.
You said they were fire giants.
That's why the paper's so big.
Yeah, but then he said deer.
Oh.
I don't think he's talking about that, dear.
I think it's D-E-E-A-R.
I told you I hate it when you call me deer.
Hrungnir.
Okay.
How do you spell that name?
You don't
know
need
how.
to know,
It'll work.
Pucklet.
I know how.
Okay.
I'm good at spelling.
This is why I'm not on the writing squad. I get it.
Okay, all right. Well, apparently you guys aren't going to leave me in peace. So I will just explain to you. We are writing to Hrungnir to be able to work out a temporary sort of truce in the understandings of
We're making a deal with giants. We're making a deal with giants.
we're making a deal with
Cool.
giants.
They
We're
have
going to
very
try
big
to make a
women.
deal with giants. We're going to give them our best fairy,
Ah.
Yeah.
and they're going.
Should I go and bury him to make sure he's still alive?
Yes, now you see the dilemma here, right?
Oh.
Can't do that.
We'll just say he's done cooking.
What if he has mushrooms growing out of him?
I want to be very clear in here. We're not talking about Gil, right? We're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, we're talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
He's been over there for a while.
How long?
Oh, go. He's fine. Gil buried him before he died.
It's already jumped off and like.
Okay. All right. Great. Yes, please go get him.
Why? Wait. Hold. Why?
And because we're going to trade him for one of theirs. We need a protector for the Briar. Jorri,
Why-
this is news to you.
And we can't. As a fire giant will be useful because at least they're big enough to like do
Yeah.
things and yeah.
Hey, Lyra,
And-
last one there's rotten egg.
Oh,
Yep. Okay. Great. Yep. I was going to
Absolutely
explain.
taking
Go
off
ahead.
after
Go ahead.
that.
Go. Yeah. Both of you guys kind of take off. Okay. Nyx, why are you still here?
But if you trade today, then who do you trade tomorrow?
Who do we trade for? Or do you think this is going to be a daily thing?
Well, I mean, you don't just like you just trade people. Do
Yes. Why?
We
Why is that a problem for you, Nyx?
well, because we all make fun of him because he's like, I mean, you know.
The best one.
But when he's gone, I'm the best one.
Ah. Well, maybe you should become more useful to the tribe. Like Melody here.
I picked all these
I'm-
apples today.
So useful.
Uh,
Maybe you should learn to spell. Like me.
roll me a d20, Clinton.
8.
All of the apples just break out from the bottom of the bag.
I even served them.
Yeah, not a good start. Not a good start. You're right to be concerned.
I'm gonna go help them dig up Gil.
You're going to collect those apples that you dropped first, though, right?
Of course, that's what I do. I pick apples. I love apples.
That's what you do. You stupid, stupid fairy.
Do you want an apple?
No, get out of my face. Melody,
Ben.
let's get back to what we were doing. And there's a moment as time is continuing to pass, as a letter is being drafted to Hrungnir, understanding the danger, the sort of like weird sort of like rocky relationship that they have with the giants.
Volatility.
Volatility. I didn't think that was a word, but it is. Great.
Is now.
I say give me a perception check.
Me?
No.
The last one I got, by the way, was 22. This one is 19.
Okay, great. I do not remember what the 22 was for.
Melody, I think.
Melody. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, Melody, you hear that name.
Yeah.
19, you hear actually. You hear a name that is very concerning and confusing. As Fen is explaining, I understand that you just bore a son yourself. I would consider this to be fair trade in exchange for, and then like kind of like checks his notes, and you hear the name talk. The letter is finished. The idea of like hoping that this would create a bond of peace between us for many days to come.
Jorri reaches out and tries to like take the letter. You know, like wants, yeah. Simple as that.
Yeah. There's a moment like where your recognizance of like of being here is even further skewed when Melody moves right through you as you're trying to take it.
Mm.
What's going through yours mind right now?
There's the deep-seated fear of everything that happened to him not having happened, and I think he has certainly been touching the arm over and over again. His typically his body hasn't scarred when in combat, and things like cuts heal and he becomes a the just the boy-like version he is, but the arm is gone, and it's something that's but there's such a rage of distrust in everything, in the whole experience, but Talk was a name that was not, that to him happened after.
Right.
And it was a name he came up with after so I think he's being pulled into the narrative a little bit, like like at this point, like he's lost some of his I will just walk through this, I will be nothing and simply ignore and go towards the destination and not be. When you play with Fae games, the only way to win is to not engage at all.
To not engage, yeah.
Right. There's no right choice, but this at this, he's pulled a little bit into it.
Yeah. I think leaning further into the idea of like being pulled into that narrative, I would like you to roll me a history check with advantage. I'm going to say the advantage is coming from being able to preserve your mind in the place of where you're at and where you are now, coming from the intellect fortress.
Yeah. It's 21.
21.
22. Sorry, 22.
22. There's a questioning moment of like, with all of this, you haven't been able to engage with anything, and nothing has engaged with you except for when you hear names. And with the 22, you remember back to what Ivis said, and the idea of giving up, of being worth a name. Jorri, with a 22, you knew Gil's name. You said Gil's name, and Gil was no longer alive. You start to hear the names repeating over in your head as you recognize the importance of what you can do with a name. Clint. Fen. Melody. Lyra. Pucklet. Nyx. This moment is interrupted by another figure, another fairy comes up. This figure, we'll keep it simple. We'll say it was Una. Una comes up and explains that our visitor has arrived. Okay, great. Thank you, Una. Let me get that name now. All right. Melody, how we looking?
Not one mention of mushrooms, but good.
Great. Melody. I haven't been able to explain my plan or even pieces of it to anyone, but you wouldn't tell anybody, would you?
Of course I would. And she'll wink at him.
That's a good fairy. I hope this works. Because if we get one of theirs, then we will know all their weaknesses.
I like weaknesses.
Me too, Melody. Me too. There is a cold moment that, Jorri, you feel if you were aware of feeling the blood in your veins, you would feel it go ice cold. As a stranger materializes in the air. A stranger that is, in a way, no stranger at all. So you see Snorri appear. I understand that I am here to send a message. Snorri, even with Fen being the biggest fairy here, Snorri is still much taller. Sven is looking up in a state of authority that does not connect with the size. I would say Fen actually just instinctively flies up to meet Snorri's eyes. Yes, old friend. We're offering a trade and hoping that that would settle the peace between your other friends. Would you mind carrying this missive for us? You see Snorri look at Fen. Stretch his arms out as if he's just trying to handle the old bones and kind of tilt his head. And look right past Fen to a blank space where Jorri is standing. I have a foot in both camps. Looks back at Fen. I am aware of your tentative relationship. Who would you be trading? Do you remember that tiny little pissant? Well, we're gonna say that he's a baby. Just born. I don't know how fire giants treat their children, but if there's any coddling or whatnot, I hope he gets smothered in it. We don't welcome weakness here. And it'd be nice to kill two birds with one stone. And that just stays between you and I, right? Because you can't get involved. You see a look of brief, momentary not sadness, something deeper, something coming from a place that of someone who has a clear view of more of the pieces. But knows the process is going to take a while to get there. I accept this task. And I will do my best to convince Ragnir to take in this Faery. You see Fen is gonna, oh, that's not what I called him. Because that's not what he is. Fairies fly with the tribe. And I, for one, hope he gets squashed underneath those massive feet. Yes, well, your message is clear to me. Is there anything else, or am I free to go? motions as Melody, you're holding on to this massive piece of paper. And you see this older figure turn towards you. You do not recognize him.
She would just hand over the scroll. Probably think that he would make an interesting mushroom specimen, but not say anything. Snorri probably reads that on her face, though, being Snorri. But
Yeah.
he's not a pretty woman, so she doesn't really care.
Little smirk and hint of a smile as Snorri takes it. It is even big for Snorri. Well, turns back towards Fen. Everything will turn out as it should. Jorri, where are you in this moment? In the scene of this, would you say that you're behind Finn? Or are you?
No. I think he makes eye contact with Snorri at first, and then as the conversation continues, I think he's in front of Fen. Like, I think he's staring directly into Fen's eyes. Obviously not making eye contact because that's not there, but like he is just staring into his eyes.
Snorri, seemingly being able to see beyond, does not try to stop you, or touch you, or give any sort of space of recognition or comfort. You feel, but you don't see him behind you, just as he so often does in the time that will come. Disappears from view, leaving just you, Melody, and Fen. Well, he didn't seem to like that, did he, Melody?
You gonna be a problem, boss?
No. He's just an old man.
We'll make him a mushroom, if we have to.
You do that. You feel, Jorri, actually, looking out on the horizon, you see, give me a perception check, actually.
13.
13. Okay. You see, like, black dots in the glimmer of light between the briars. Three figures. You can't see more than that, but there's a moment that you remember. What it felt like to fly. Because often you would be carried by the other fairies against your will. Like a bird in the horizon. You see these 3 fairies playing catch, dropping, picking up. This black dot in the distance that you know is you. In this moment, you feel a hand on your shoulder. Snorri looks at you. Time to go back to your friends.
Yeah, on that. And when I think when the hand goes on his shoulder, he jumps like quite.
You see in this moment, Fen, Melody, even the like kind of blip on the horizon. You see Una like kind of in the distance. Everything is frozen in time. This moment.
When I just have to, of course it's you and 1 second. And he turns towards them kind of one last time. And his face changes a little bit, kind of gets a little bit, his face turns darker. You came for me because you wouldn't give me up. Because you refuse to give up anything you think is yours. And that is exactly why you are going to lose. Because I will give up everything to find you. And I will burn you out of this story. And you will see the real me. The boy you made into this. Because I will light myself on fire, if that's what it takes. And you will know me by the hunger of my flame. Okay, ready to go.
Jorri, you wake up. You are covered in dirt.
Kara was probably still is doing
Yeah.
chest palpitations on you. Do I need to roll a con save?
Yeah, give me one more.
So that's going to be an 11.
Okay. Yeah, I think with an 11, I mean the DC would go up on this. So yeah, you are feeling 1 level of exhaustion. Yeah.
And with that fun level of exhaustion, can you make a contested athletics check?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I'm pushing down as you're jumping up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
Also,
buried
just
again.
It's buried.
someone
Yeah.
burying me.
Yeah.
So
Might be traumatic.
So that's a 7.
I got a 24. And then you have to make another contested athletics check as I try
Athletics
to
is not my
throw
thing,
you.
dude.
You can do.
Oh my
no,
god,
you can
that's
do,
a 10.
You can do acrobatics because it's a grapple check.
Oh, okay.
So-
Then that's that was a 10, so that's a 14.
Okay, well,
I
the
still
second
think you
one
beat me.
was an 18. So
Yeah, okay.
he immediately, like, without thinking, gets up, sort of, probably grabs the arm that you grabs the arm that you were doing, or the arm, one of the arms, and kind of, I'd say it's more of like a judo taekwondo sort of over the shoulder, like a throw, and just throws you maybe 5 feet. I'm sure it's not a whole lot, but mechanically it's probably like a d6 if it's according to the anyway. Either is you.
4.
You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
5. Okay. Kara is smiling up at you and crying and laughing and groaning in pain as all the air is pushed out of her body because you definitely knocked the air out of her.
Yeah, there's like you see a look on Jorri's face that I don't know if you've seen his face look that way before, but it very quickly like turns into a bright smile again, and sorry, why dirt? Why am
I don't know. We were trying to bring you back and I didn't know what to do. The gods, no one knew what to do.
Oh, back. Oh, I was. How long was I? Was I gone for a long time?
I don't know.
Why am I
I
down
lost
on the
count.
table?
Like a couple
Did
minutes.
you take me somewhere else? Why? Wait, you all weren't here.
You've been out for a while.
How many years have passed?
75.
About
75.
I'm just kidding,
years.
Yori. It has not been that long.
I don't know,
you
15,
see-
20 minutes?
Figured.
I don't know.
Okay.
You see Io
Okay.
kind of come in and give Jorri a big hug and just like kind of like, I told you he was coming back. I told you.
I feel like Callisto told you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's same difference.
In the hug, he mouths thank you to Kara. Kind of.
Yes.
I just lean my head on Alistair's shoulder and sort of like hold his hand.
I will attempt to pick up Kara from there, try to help with getting.
She's
get
just
back
gonna,
up.
she's like shaking, like that shaky exhaustion as she's just laying on the ground panting. It's okay. He's back.
she'll
Everyone's
just
back.
sit down next to you then.
Everyone's here. Yuri, you okay?
Yeah, I think so. That bite down thing has a weird taste.
You also notice, Jorri, that there's something that seems to keep like feeling like it's like as if like you've had a lot of hands, or well, you kind of like continue to think that someone is like putting their hand on your shoulder. And there's a moment of like, I think there's like a moment of like you see everybody in front of you and you're like, there's the hand on my shoulder. It's like, oh, it's got like, is Snoring messing with me again? And you feel that it is the wings kind of like batting against your back, fully disconnected. Fully disconnected from like your inner like pieces. Weirdly, it is still attached to you.
Like both wings are still attached.
Mm-hmm.
Both sets. Okay.
Yep. They feel really loose. And I will say, like above board, I say you come back. What was it actually? The healing cure wounds that was on.
Oh yeah. Still have my character on death saves.
Yeah.
Let's roll it real quick. 6, big man. 6.
Nice.
6. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, you have 6 hit points. So you feel pretty exhausted. I will give me a medicine check on yourself. DC 14.
Nope. 5.
These things are a huge pain in the ass. I mean, you're gonna almost trip over them. You're gonna feel like you're tripping over them.
I thought I said, Alistair, I can't do anything with it. You want to you can just grab it and you just take it off. I don't know. I
Please,
feel like
can I
it's
just
gonna pop off.
Just to make me feel better, and I'm gonna touch him and trigger warding bond because
You got it. Cool.
Yeah, I'll walk up to him as if to give him a hug. What, dude? What happens? Yeah.
So you rip the wings off?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, that's what he has to do, right? Cool. Jorri, what do you got? 10 hit points?
6, because that's what. Yeah,
6. That's right.
This is 6.
Oh, so close. So close. You see Jorri go immediately.
well, it's halved because of warding bond.
Oh, that's right. Great. That's right. Yes, thank you. You take 4 points of damage.
And I take 4 points of damage as well.
Yeah, Kara,
That's
you also
fine.
take 4 points. Yep. As you feel like immediately, like there's like a little spurt of like blood that kind of like
Yeah,
shoots
like
out.
he goes in for like a hug. He's like, ow. Oh.
You
This,
have
Well.
this
Oh,
is why we
thanks.
this is why we do healing and keep people around who can do that. I'm gonna cure wounds you.
I think
That's really good.
I
Just
think
like pulling out a loose tooth, I guess.
Yori, you
No.
heal 16 points.
No,
60.
it is
There
not
we
like
go.
it is not like pulling out a loose tooth, Gwen.
Oh.
Those were wings.
I mean, honestly, actually, like above board. I mean, it makes sense in the idea of like, yeah, they like look like fucking wings that Alistair just pulled off. Yeah, of course. Weirdly, Jorri, that's pretty similar to how it felt, because they're not connected to anything. So it is this weird sort of like thing of like it needs to come out. So yeah, Alistair, please feel free to put 2 fairy wings in your inventory. 2 full-size fairy wings.
That's so
Gwen is gonna go over and help him do that. Because
Beautiful.
Those
what are
good
friends
chemical.
for if not component parts?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I guess.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Scientist.
It
Sorry.
became a whole thing. It's I guess
I just
the
You were somewhere far away.
I
Or-
was, yeah, I was back. There are other fairies. I don't know. I always just said siblings, but I think I remember. One of them, the eyes, the whole face, like how do they like if you're like where's the brain? Because the melody that and Nick's melody,
Jorri,
yeah.
give me a wisdom saving throw.
You still have advantage. I haven't lost concentration.
Fortress, yeah.
You just killed Melody. It's the first one. Let's hope for the second. Nope, that's a 9.
Okay. Good thing you're healed. You take 9 points of psychic damage.
It would be half you have resistance.
Beautiful.
And you also have resistance to all damage from warding
Jesus.
bond, so it's double half.
You take 2 points of damage.
Does it double half? Well, I'll take
Yeah,
it.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it would.
I would quarter it.
That,
Yeah.
that's
Um,
Stack.
Jorri, you feel something change in the air around you, as if coming from your fingertips, very similar to like your feeling of like casting attack spells. You're 100% sure that Melody is dead now.
Oh.
Oh.
And I'm glad you started with Melody.
Fun.
For your sake, I would say, like,
Yeah.
there might be one that you want to leave.
Yeah, he's not quite. There's too much going on.
Mm-hmm.
And also, maybe that's too easy. So
Yeah.
he's going to leave it for now. Also, I think even with the 2 damage, like I think you could feel sort of the initial blow of that, and then it's sort of, you know, like fade away and become sort of, you know, dimmed and just quieted through these other processes, and then, you know, flow over to Kara as well, who I suppose if it's you share the damage, then felt something
Yeah,
as well.
I took 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I love that. So, yeah. So, Kara, you feel something like, oh, shit. Roll me your empathic bloodhound thing.
Oh shit. Oh shit. How's a 30?
30.
How is a 30?
It's better than a 2.
You see a figure in your mind. I know we say like typically this isn't visual, but I would say for this case, you see a figure in your mind. Eyes impossibly big compared to the rest of the head. Iridescent wings, holding a large log that is seems to be burnt black. Staring staring up at you, and the image fades. And you know, with a 30, that figure didn't just die. That figure no longer exists.
Whoa, Yuri, whatever you just did, maybe not the best idea right now until we're sleeping. Also, I don't know if that works on everybody, so let's not say names around here, apparently.
Yeah. Well, there were others. I don't. I'm confused, but I saw things, and when I sort it out, I'll tell you all. Snorri was shit.
Snorri's dead. Snorri's dead.
Snorri dead. Never existed.
God, what an awful. That would be so mean of me.
If it was that easy to kill the Watchers, what have we been doing this whole time?
Yeah. Say the Queen of Air and Darkness
More
thing real
gals,
quick.
more ghosts,
More ghosts.
More ghosts.
Or does it have to be exclusively Fey beings? Which would mean the next time you say Kara, Kara dies.
We'll say, Kara, you had this, you had this weird sort of like moment. I mean, you guys don't know enough of the story, but Kara, you get an idea that Jorri seems to have this new power. Whether it's specifically over fairies or not, it's hard to say.
Can you do me a favor? Maybe this isn't a favor I want you to ask. Let's bookshop. Let's shelf this for now.
Say spat. Just say spat real quick.
We'll workshop it.
We'll workshop this. I just don't want to say
spat.
the name and then have you say the name and then they come and kill us. So
Let's say spat.
we need
See what
sleep.
happens to this little fucker. That'll be fine.
I think you should say that freaking squirrel's name. I don't know why. I've never interacted with it, but I want to kill it.
What was the name of
Give him a
that?
spat. You're fine. He
that little
only
blorb.
has bitten me so far.
That is not okay.
Is that?
I think I'm
You
gonna
mean-
let the. We should understand this better before we do anything with
Yeah,
it.
sorry, I'm tired.
You see spat close,
You're
then just
dead.
kind of
I'm
give you a
tired.
nod.
Emir, no. Just kidding.
Alistair, what are you doing?
I think I'm just studying Jorri. I know that what he was going through hurt him a lot, and I think I'm kind of letting him settle in and waiting for a moment to just ask him, like, how is the arm?
Oh, the arm. Oh, yeah. I mean, he tries to move the arm.
Takes a little bit at first, kind of like moving the fingers and the sort of smaller ligaments. It feels. Give me a medicine check.
Okay. $13.
It feels heavy, but not in a way of like, the amount of like flesh that it would take of like what was taken off of you, whether it was heavier or lighter or not. It just feels. It doesn't feel like an extension of you. It feels like you're. Actually, maybe this is a good way to put it. It kind of just feels like you're holding a sword in your hand, always.
It feels right. I don't know if it's what I need right now. Maybe one day, you can make me something that is just for playing games and eating sandwiches and whatever else people do that isn't what we have to do. But it feels strong. And I'm not gonna. There's a lot of stuff that could, I feel like, go wrong. There are runes and there's enchantments and there's that. I mean, the spear. There are so many. Come to think of it, we put a lot of magical items into this arm, and it's like right next. It could just blow up.
Jorri.
Yeah.
Jorri. If it starts hurting or you feel any pain, just come see me, and I'll do what I can.
I'm not worried about that.
Well, I'll offer.
Then I swing my cane as hard as I can at his arm.
Cool. Alistair, give me an attack roll first.
Yep.
Remember, you have a +1 to your AC from Warding Bond.
Beautiful.
That is only a
You cut out there. What was it?
13.
13. Cool. Would 13 meet your AC?
Well, let me turn this off first, because that's not. Yeah, I have a 12 because he's not like wearing the full armor right now. Yeah, he has. I mean, he hasn't been wearing the full armor to do surgery. So I think I think it was on, but at this point I would say it's probably like, parts of it were removed and need to be kind of put back on, and so yeah.
Is it 12 with or without the +1 from Warding Bond?
It's 12 with the +1 from Warding Bond.
Okay, great. You got it. Cool. Awesome. Alistair, you strike the arm. Go ahead and roll me damage.
Nine.
Cool. You take, halved. So you take 4 points of damage of bludgeoning, I assume, as you're just using your cane. And Alistair, give me a sleight of hand check.
Eight.
Your whole body feels like it vibrates for a second, and you drop the cane.
Fuck.
No,
If you
no,
hurt
it was
me, you
just-
hurt me right now. Let's.
It was no. That's thanks.
You did good.
Right.
You
And then the
did-
tradition is now I get one on you, and he like holds up the big metal arm. So you want on your arm? I'm just
Jorri,
joking.
I'll
I'm
swap
just-
out. I'll swap in.
Thanks for remembering. And it, yeah, I mean, it held up. It certainly didn't. Yeah, it's well made. I had no doubt about that.
Pick up the cane.
I pick
Jorri,
up
we
the cane.
Fine. Fine. There's a little
Jorri,
bit of me
we
like,
can-
yeah, someone else fucking pick it up. Someone else pick it up. Go ahead. Do it. Someone else pick it
Jorri,
Oh,
we
is this-
can-
did
we
you
can
drop
test
this?
some more.
up. Yeah, exactly.
We can definitely test some more tomorrow after you get a little bit of rest. See what all it's capable of.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there are things that I put in it, principles that I was taught. Everything is everything because I needed
Everything?
It's that's all the strength I had in the spear, and the gauntlet is attached to it, and it's, you know, my wings, I poured everything into it, and
Mhm.
we'll see what happens.
For what it's worth, I think Beryl would be proud of that.
That's your like rock monster kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah. You saw it. Yeah, he's the.
Is your
he's
boss?
my
or-
teacher.
I thought you said Vera at one point, and I was like, I don't think that's in my campaign. Who's
No,
Vera?
no, Beryl.
That
Sorry.
moment of the DM going like, yeah. Who?
barrel.
Yes, VR and Leaf Blade.
I can't wait for someone to mention in the comment like much later, like, oh yeah, you don't remember Vera, dude?
Yeah. This real important NPC.
Technically, isn't she the barmaid in Brassland?
Shut up. Yes, it is. Yes, you're right.
It
Thank you.
is.
I was like, wait, who's Vera? Who's Vera? Who's Vera? It sounds like someone I'd make up.
Yeah. But we can test it out, see how strong it is, and go from there. But I think you need bandages and a nap.
Yeah, little man, let's get you back home.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Should I leave anything? Yeah. Alistair, did you pick up the pieces that they kind of tore? You know, they had to take some stuff off when they were. Did you like from the tree? There's like maybe a piece or two that it's not important. We just ask them for it later, or not. All right, cool. Cool talk. I guess let's go home.
Cool.
Well, we don't have a home. Let's go back to the sex room.
Let's call it. We don't stay there anymore. We
Use
have
the
our
tower.
own.
Oh, the library.
Tower.
Let's go back to the library.
Actually, I do need to go back to the library. I sort of left everything there.
No one hears Callisto say, to the sex room. But I was like, okay, well, hold on. No, we gotta fix that. There's that.
Library is the sex room now too. So
And there's a moment that like
As
everybody
everyone-
like, go ahead. Yes.
I was gonna say, as everyone leaves, Kara is gonna hang back.
Yeah, I like it.
And just look around for Mask once everyone's gone.
Okay. Roll me a religion check.
$22.
You can't see Mask, but you feel that they're close. To a point of like it feels like they might be hiding from you.
Where did you go?
You see, like kind of like sitting out on a rock. You looking like Alistair. I didn't know where to go. I didn't have the tools to help you.
So where did you go?
I went off in that direction. A couple 100 miles. Then off in that direction. A couple 100 miles.
So you didn't know where to go. And you didn't know who to ask, and you just left me.
I was trying to find a way to help you. I'm sorry.
Sometimes the best way to help is to just stand by someone's side when they need you the most.
You're right.
I should go check on Jorri. And she's gonna just walk away.
Mass is going to... Siobhan. I mean...
Yes.
Kara. I'm still here if you need me.
I know. But right now he needs me more.
You see the porcelain mask. Darken slightly as the shadows move in direction towards the ground. And disappears.
She'll rapidly catch up with the party.
As you walk off from the scene, Cameron doesn't follow. just sits for a moment, slowly zooming out, seeing the gentle stream. As it opens in, the roots of the tree of Iabellon zoom out, come into view from the right side. Cuts to black, but we can still hear the stream before it completely fades away. And with that, we'll end tonight's session. We'll see you all next week. Or 2 weeks, sorry, 2 weeks.